Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So coming back in again with the free kit from Hunkydory's Crafting with Hunkydory magazine number 81. This is the beautiful animal Antics, and today I've got the set for your special day. So you've got sort of 4 toppers, 2 large ones, a medium and a sort of smaller one. You've got a no age puns on this card. I just can't bear them sentiment. You're very dear to me. Have a happy birthday and go nuts and enjoy your special day with this. Look how cute that little squirrel is, and even this fox is very serene, bless him. And then you've got the foiled cardstock, which has got those sort of slices on it and that diagonal pattern. Then you've got your printed cardstock with that beautiful squirrel on, looking so happy. I like walking through the park. I went to have my hair cut this morning, and walking back through the park back up to mine, I saw 9 squirrels, which is the most I've ever seen in one setting, but they were all dotted all throughout, but there was loads of them. But that's by the by, just random. So these are the inserts that are available to be downloaded. You just go onto the Hunkydory hub and you'll find the free downloads. I usually put in my little search bar Hunkydory free downloads, and then it brings up that page, and then I can click on whichever one I want. There's 2 on there. There's the actual inserts, and there are some of the papers and things that are in the magazine as well, which is very cool this time. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, so I'm gonna go with this squirrel first of all. Come on now. It says no you're not. So I want to pop this one out first, and I will show you why in a second. Let's pop, come on now, that's going to tear, just that pip's just quite set in there, so let's just give that little snip. Now, there we go, gotcha. So let's pop that to the side, and pop the inserts to the side for a moment, and now we can pop these there. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a piece of 6x12 cardstock that I've scored to make a 6x6 card. And what I want to do is cut away a part of the front of my card, and then have this image on the inside of my card. That's if I can get this to separate. So just being super careful not to cut my silly self. Once you've got a few, they seem to be a bit happier about letting go, but usually they are, they come out a lot better than this, so this is a rogue one for sure. There we go. So this is normally how they come out, just popping out. And then if you've been watching my channel for a while, you would know that. So let's pop that to the side. Now I'm going to take my card. This is going to be the front of my card, so I'm going to turn it over. And where I want my sort of square to be, I kind of want it to be quite central. I'm going to bring in my little ruler here, and I'm feeling that that is pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is just lightly, not even going to worry about my fingertips there, just go around there. Okay, so that will be the aperture that I need to cut, but I don't want to do that until I've got all of my layers on. So let's pop that to the side. Obviously I've got my F on the front, so I know. So let's bring in my trimmer. And I've got a gold mirror mat, all the foiling's in gold, so we're going to keep going with that same colour theme. I'm going to take 2 notches off 2 of the sides. That's just going to give me that really fine border all the way around, like so. I like to have a little white border. If you don't like the white border, you can just take one of these mats, so let's say you're using, and you can just glue that straight over the top. Okay, so because they are 6 by 6 again. So I'm going to take the printed cardstock. I'm going to cut this to 5 3/4 inches. Now if I put that at 5 3/4, where's that mark going to be? Now I want a bit more than that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 1 inch off the top, and I hate wasting card like this, but I'm sure I can find a use or a bit for it elsewhere. And then if I turn that round and cut that at 5 3/4, all it means is that if I did it the other way, I'd have a tiny little corner at the top there. If I did it, let's say, let's pop this back on this way around. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so if I cut this piece off the bottom, like so, then I'm going to have a piece like this where I've got this massive triangle on. Okay, but then if I cut that piece, bring that down and just imagine that's blue. If I cut that piece off the top, all I've got is this tiny little triangle here, which doesn't really make sense as such. So by doing that, just coming down a little bit off, taking about 1 inch off the top, although this will be a border, this bit is pretty much wasted unless I want to die cut out of it some hearts or circles or something. But I just get a better, you get a better ratio on the actual card. That's what I'm trying to say there. Okay, so I'm just checking that's going to fit nicely on there, and it will. So the glues I'm going to be using, same ones I always use. Clout All Purpose in this clear one, which is an alcohol based glue, same as Hunkydory construction glue. Got my Clout Tacky glue in here, which is the same as any PVA glue. I just find it tacks a little faster, which I like. And also, because I'm going to be using the insert, I've also got my Hunkydory Permanent Dots tape pen. So let's start with some of these layers. Just going to pop that onto there. So what I'll do, I've done that bit, I don't need to do it again. I'll put this layer on, and then while that is sitting and drying, before I start cutting or anything, what I will do is just cut a mat for the inside with the insert and then some more gold card. So just again with the glues, it didn't take long to go off. Sometimes you can move it again, want that in that right hand side, a little while after. Usually the PVA glue stops out, but I have been lucky a couple of times lately where it has let me move it. But let's pop that to the side. I'm going to come in, I'll come back with this. I'm hoping it will let me cut that insert paper because it is quite good, 120 GSM. So the gold Mary mat, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do 2 notches off 2 of the sides, the same as I did on the front. It's pretty much my go-to for any 6x6 card, if I'm honest with you. And then for the insert, I'm going to match up with this corner again. I don't want to use the squirrel because when we cut away that bit in the middle, you know, you're not really going to see them. All you're going to see is a branch, which seems like an awful shame. So I'm not going to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take these white edges off because I just think it looks a bit weird. Actually, I can cut that to 5 3/4 now. It just looks a bit weird going to the white edge and then going to gold. So I'm going to come about 1 inch off there on that because we are kind of going to match it up. again 5 3/4. Okay, so let's mat and layer this on. So because it's paper, I'm going to use my dotted tape pen in the corners, and then I use my all-purpose in the middle. Here we go. And let's turn it around the right way. I'm going to pop that on. There we go. And then if I come into my card, what I can do is get that on, and then that will be nice and secure for when we want to pop our little image on. Needs to be that way around. There we go. Okay, so going back to my top here. Now this line that I've made is the inside, so what I want to do is cut just a tiny bit further along than that, just so that this is going to hide the rough edges, but I want a clean space through to my topper. Okay, now if you want to, you could get away with doing these on your trimmer. I'm not going to. I'm going to bring in, ouch, my magnetic ruler. It's also a metal ruler. So what I'm going to do is just pop that on the line, move it along just a smidge actually. Let's do that the other way around so I can actually see where the line is. That would make sense. Apologies if you can see my head. And I'm even going to put the knife the right way to cut. Now remember that I'm going through 3 pieces of card here, because I've got the white card, I've got the gold card. That's the mat, I can hear that. Yeah, I've got the white card, I've got the gold card, and I have the printed card as well. So this blade, it's quite new, but it's not 100%, so it might take me 3 strokes. And again, come down here, like so. Just watching my fingers, oops, because this is a scalpel. I actually had it for such a long time, this knife. It's one of the first things I bought in crafting. And then what I'm going to do is just match those up. You can always pop in. It's not quite there. That side. And it's just going to be a question of going round and easing that out. There we go, so we've got that one. And it might be that I need to come in and just trim a little bit more, but hopefully we'll get it in one go. That's that one. And if you've got the die, obviously you could just die cut this through. It just gets slightly more complicated with a die because you've got all the layers to go through, I think. And also sometimes your plates can put markings into the actual cardstock, so you know all of that work we've done on the front could be, I wouldn't say ruined, but it could be marked in ways that we didn't really want it to be. Now let's pop you out. Just last bit's just been. There we go, that's that bit and that bit. And that's like, you can see how thick that is. It's like chipboard. Let's pop that away a second. Now you see it looks kind of neat, it's not too bad. Let's just grab that little bit of fluff. Now this should come over the top quite nicely, so I can just see I need to take a little bit more off this side here. So let's just I'm just going to go across like so. This bit is the bit that's not an exact science, so you know, you just really want to be doing it until you can't see the results. You want to be hiding all of those pieces. I can just see a bit in this top corner here. So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit more. There and there. Now if you have any frames that you've used on other ones, or you've not, you know, you've kept the frame for some reason, what you would be able to do is cover that up on the inside as well. Okay, I think I might need to do a little bit more. Bear with me 2 seconds. There's a little bit down here as well. Ooh. Okay, getting there guys, I'm getting there, sorry. Like I say, it's not an exact science, it is just a bit of keep going until you're happy. But I do want it to be a clear window through to that topper. And come out. Nope. There we go. Surely that has to be it. I'm going to go with that. Well, we could. No, I'm not. I'm going to fiddle. Take another little bit here. It's difficult because this corner has a rounded bit. It's difficult to sort of see where that is going to go to. I mean, I could have done it all as a square, like just a square, but I wanted to leave a bit of support on those corners for it, so that's why I've kind of not gone as a straight square sort of thing. All right, here we go. Let's have a little look. Perfection. Okay, now I'm happy. Ruler's going away. It's perfect. It's lovely, that ruler, magnetic ruler, because it just sticks onto the leg of my table, so I literally cannot lose it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use these dots on here because it is a thin piece. And they do seem to stick really well. So just going to put a nice amount of coverage on. And then I just want to make sure I get that straight. There we go. And then I'm going to come in with my squirrel. So technically this is the 10th squirrel I've seen today. Okay, and I'm going to come in, I think I'm going to come with some 2mm pads this time, because then it's going to come more up to, it's not good English, is it? Then it's going to be raised up to a similar level as the front. Maybe even coming out above it. You might want to go with a 3 or a 4, maybe even a 5. You know, if you're going to have a go at this, it is a nice card to make. It's easier with these square ones and the rectangles, to be honest, than it is with the circles. With the circle ones, that is better with the dies. Although I think with the circle ones, it's easier to get a to cut a frame out of cardstock to hide the insides, if that's what you want to do. I don't think the insides look that messy. I will check at the end, but I don't think they look that messy at all. Let's just pop this one in just to see if we can get this pretty much where we need it to be. There we go. Well, actually, I wonder. No, I'm going to leave that one out, I think. Or does it look better with it in? I'm going to put it back in. That I didn't expect to do. But what I will do is, just because this, I want to be able to just squidge it about a bit. I'm going to use some tacky glue. Just tap off any excess onto my hand, because I don't have any reactions to the glue. It's one that I've put on the back of my hand many times with 0 problems to date. So let's just check that. That needs to come down just a smidge there. Right, okay, so happy with that. So where is my big sentiment? We've got our Go Nuts and Enjoy Your Special Day. We've also got a border here, I didn't say. It's got like all of the animals on, sort of woodland animals. Super cute. Okay, I think, let's see how I want that to go. I'm thinking maybe raise that up on a little 1mm pad. Scissors. Okay, so I'm just going to put one pad there, one pad there. I've got another little piece here that I'll just put on this end. So what I'm thinking of, there's a bit of a small space to go there. I could have gone higher if I'd have thought about how big the sentiment was, but I didn't. But I thought it'd be quite nice just to come across. Then again, you're going to have that bit of space as it goes across that space that we've cut. So let's just take those off. A little bit of tacky glue again. And then we're just gonna, it's sort of kind of going the same sort of angle as that branch. That's going down. So all you can see on the outside, it is a little bit messy around those corners. It probably does need a frame. I will sort that out later, or try and find a frame in my kit. Not in my kit, in my stack of ones that of inners that I've not used. But yeah, all you can see really is that going across, but that's not a problem, that's not ugly. So the last thing then, I think we do need some gems, and I think I'm going to come in with these orangey ones. So I'm going to put 2 in this corner. They are self-adhesive, but I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on as well. knife, there you are. So I'm going to pop big one, and then we've got this medium one. Oops, go on for a little skid, and then we've got this big one here. That is going to be the first card finished. So plenty of room there to be writing your greeting, sentiment, whatever. And you know, you've just got that sort of looking through the card to sort of see it at the end. It's on a shelf. It does look quite nice. But you may see that in the photos when I do them later on. But that is card number 1. So I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, I thought I'd do like a little 6x4 shutter card. So I've got a piece of 6x12 cardstock, and I'm going to start by bringing my trimmer in. And so I've got my cut line here. My trimmer has measurements to the left, which go up to 13, I think, and then to the right it goes to 1.5. So I'm going to pop my cardstock with it up to the 1 inch mark on that right hand side, and I'm going to move my blade to 2 inches, and I'm going to cut from 2 till 10. And then what I'm going to do is do exactly the same on the other side. So we're going from that 1 inch mark, and then we're cutting from 2 till 10, 10 till 2, on the way back down. So let's pop that to the side for a second. And there is a template for this on my Facebook page, so Sybil James Concoctions, and also on my Pinterest page as well. If you're a sort of visual learner, you need something there, you can just print that out, or you know, copy it in your own handwriting. It'd probably be a lot neater than mine. Okay, so for the score lines, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do 2 inches up to the line. I'm going to do 4 inches all the way down, and then I'm going to turn that over and do that 2 inches at the top to the line, same. And then what I'm going to do is, because I got the smaller board, I'm going to turn that around, do the same again. So 2 and 4 all the way down. So 2 up to the line, 4 all the way down, and then 2 inches to the line again. So if you are doing this on the big board, what you need to do is score at 2 inch to the line, and from the line to the bottom. At 4 inches you're going all the way along, at 8 inches you're going all the way along, and at 10 inches you're going to the line, and from the line to the bottom. So you're going to miss out those middle panels. Okay, and this is always the scary bit when you try and work out how it needs to fold. So I'm just gently going to ease those paper folds in. It doesn't really matter at this stage whether I'm folding them the right way or not. It's just convincing this paper that it needs to move. Okay, so sorry, sneezing fit. So let's go. I'm going that way, and because we know those middle ones, one is going to go back, one is going to go forward, and then I think maybe, yep. So, and forward, so that's going back. Okay, so you'll gradually sort of realise which way it goes once you've started getting these put into place. And hopefully it should start to move down, and it does. And then this is the time to come in, just burnish all of those creases down. Now you've got that the way you want it to go, burnish them down. And don't forget to do the other side here, make sure they're all nice and crisp. That's the secret to it really folding in now, really, is just making sure all those folds are nice and crisp. Okay, So now we need to cut some mats. So I'm going to use 2 pieces of gold mirror card. It might be more economical to use your A4 with this. I'm not entirely sure, but I suspect you would probably have a bigger piece left over. But what I'm going to do first of all is cut this down to 2 notches under the 6. And I tend to do these in different mats. So for this piece here, it's going to be 2 by 6. So if I turn that around and do 2 notches under the 2, because that's 2 notches under the 6 already, and then I'm going to do the same for that other piece. Okay, so now we've got, let's turn that around so you can see. And then this piece here is 2 by 4. So if I cut that down to 2 notches under the 2, and then cut that down to 2 notches under the 4, we've then got that piece to go on there. Now these ones here are 2 inches by 1 inch. So it's already 2 notches that way, 2 notches under the 2 that way. So if I turn that around and cut that at 3/4 of an inch, and if I use my bit of tape, next time I'll do these little bits first. Again, 3/4 of an inch, just making sure it's butted up to that bottom piece. And then we've got those pieces there. That's going to be a piece of rubbish. Let's keep that bit of tape. We'll use that on the next one. So again, I'm going to take this other piece. I'm not going to take 2 notches off the 6 because it's not going to matter with this one. So I'm going to take 2 notches off the 2. I'm going to take 2 pieces that are 3/4 of an inch. Which will go there and there. And then 2 notches off the 4. I'm going to put that in the bin because I don't want to get confused. And then this piece here is 4 by 4, I believe. Let me just grab my ruler. 4 by 4, yes. So I can take 2 notches off the 4, 2 notches off the 4, and this is where I'm going to put my sentiment, or my insert as such. Now I'm also going to need 2 pieces for here, which are also 2 inches by 1. So if I cut that down to 2 notches under the 2, and they're all going to be 3/4 of an inch. So we've got 1, we've got 2. A lot of cutting on this one, but it's worth it for the effect at the end. 3 and 4. Okay, so now we can turn to the insert. Let's do this piece first of all. So I'm going to, let's take that white edge off first of all. And then because this is the only piece that's going to go over that middle one, I'm going to take that to 3 3/4. Take this edge off here. I think I want to keep this blue edge on. So I'm going to turn that around and go to 3 3/4. So that's that piece for there. If I change my mind, I don't think I will, but I'll cut that to size just in case. If I change my mind, I might swap that one out instead if I think that looks wrong at the end, but I don't think it will. Okay, so next I'm going to come to the foiled cardstock. And I'm going to start by cutting a piece that's 1 3/4. And I am going to do let's do the big pieces first of all. So I've got 5 3/4. So we can pop that one on there. Now this piece here is going to be too small to put on this piece here. So what I can do is cut all of my pieces there. Which I think I've cut all these little pieces too small. Have I? I have. They should be 2 notches under the one. Have I done that with all of them? Am I proper numpty? I might have to cut these again, but I'll do that off screen just to. So they should be 2 notches under the 2 and 2 notches under the 1. So I will do those again in a second. It's this piece that's supposed to be 3/4 inch. So let's go. Is that 1 3/4 already? Yes, it is. So then we can go 3/4. I think we'll get one more out of this as well. So apologies, I will put a note up at the beginning of the video, so hopefully it won't confuse you too much when I now say that that's wrong. Okay, so again 1 3/4. 5 3/4. And then again we're going to go with 3/4 inch. If you wanted to add in some of that other foiled cardstock from the other day, you know, if you wanted to mix it up with maybe a bit of blue, you absolutely could do. That's behaving. Okay, and then again 1 3/4. And 1 3/4. Sorry, 3 3/4. Go on there. And 3 3/4. Now this isn't going to match it in exactly because we've got that little bit of blue there. But I don't mind that. I might swap that over to the other side. And let's just do. I'm going to take 3/4 inch off the bottom rather than try and do. I want to try and keep that as a bigger piece as I can, and then I should be able to just cut these to 1 3/4. And 1 3/4. Apologies about that. Okay, so that is all the bits. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go back and recut these to 2 notches under the 2 and 2 notches under the 1. Bear with me. Okay, so I've cut all those, so now it's just time to come along and just all of these on. Swap that over to that side, onto there, move these out of the way. So I think what I'll do first of all is do these little pieces. Now normally cardstock to cardstock I will do tacky glue and Clow all-purpose glue, but because these are smaller pieces and I've just been having a bit more success lately with things staying still, I'm going to use the dotty pen and my all-purpose. I like the all-purpose because it does give a bit of strength to it as well, which is great, and those dots just help that to stick straight away. Just have to be super careful with your all-purpose and your mirror card, because if you do splurge it everywhere, what can happen is it can take the shininess off that gold, which can be great if you're looking for a sort of brush gold effect, but it's a bit, well, you know, soul destroying when it's not the look you're going for. And this one here in the middle, I'm doing this today as two separate ones, but you could do a 2x1 piece. I think before, when I've done it in the past, I've done it as 2x1, but splitting it up today. And the reason I'm splitting it up is because when it's folded, it does tend to just put a fold in there from the mark on the card. You can see it looks like there's a fold there, even though we've not scored it. It's just the mark that you get from the card being folded. Okay, let's turn these around. So I'm just giving them time to settle before I put the top pieces on, which is risky because they could disappear from my desk. But hey, I've seen 9 squirrels today, so maybe it's my lucky day. I do like to see a squirrel, I have to be honest. There was 9 squirrels, 2 robins. Well, I think it was 2, could possibly have been the same one, and a magpie, which I had to salute, of course, because it's unlucky not to. You know, the whole 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for girl, 4 for a boy, that whole thing. So yeah, but they're doing major work over there at the minute. The bridge, they decided that the bridge was unsafe, and well, to be fair, it didn't look unsafe, but they'd done some repairs to it, which were really shoddily done. I mean, like, they were wooden bridges that have been here since the 80s, and you know, the council had just come in with random planks, like decking planks, and hammered them on with without really filling the space properly like it was before. And you know, they have groups of youths over there at times, but they had kicked some of the supports out of the side frames, you know, like the railings, so every now and then there'd be one missing, and the way the council chose to remedy this was by taking some, you know, those metal frames that they usually put down the side of the road when there's somebody visiting, or you know, like there's work being done. They cable tied that to different places on the bridge basically, so they did look a mess, and they were really slippy as well because of the wood having been down there. And they couldn't really treat it because there's a lake underneath with, you know, they're trying to encourage all the biodiversity now. They've got different schemes going on with to increase different wildlife bowls and things. Making little vole tunnels, I think they are over there as well at the same time. So they can't, you know, they can't put anything on the bridge. They couldn't paint it with anything that would hurt the wildlife, because we'd had a couple of incidences where something had gone in the water and loads of fish had died. And there is quite a nice amount of wildlife over there, you know. We have a pair of swans. I think I've spoken about them before, called George and Mildred, apparently. Don't know if that's their official name, but that was the name I was told they were called. And they usually have, you know, babies every year. There's quite a few ducks, some peahens. We've got some egrets. There's supposed to be an otter, but I've never seen the otter. But people do put photos on, you know, the local group. That's the great thing about village groups these days, isn't it? You get to see all the things that you miss. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of wildlife over there. There is a couple of people, you see them over there sometimes, that go over there with their proper photographies, and they're taking pictures of the wildlife. It's especially in the spring when there's the babies. But be interesting to see how much of the wildlife stays after they've finished doing this bridge repair, because apparently they've got to take all the concrete support out, so they're going to be drilling into that to break it up to put the supports in for the new metal bridge, which should be better. It should be less slippy and will last longer. When this this part of Peterborough was built, they I think they went for a look. Just take that bit up. So it was, everything was done not so much with thinking of what will happen in the future, but of making it look like a really nice place to live, which it's not a bad place. So you had all these beautiful sort of hedges all the way along, and these wooden bridges, very pretty. But of course now they don't want to maintain all these bushes, so they're all like overgrown, or they've all gone to like straggly, weedy sort of looks. You know, down by where the little shopping precinct is, there was a load of pampas grasses, and they used to be like beautiful, like you'd get all of the white plumes coming out the top in the summer, and then in the autumn, you know, someone would come along and they would just cut it back nicely. But for the last couple of years, because they just pay the lowest tender, don't they? They just come in with their hedge trimmers and just raise it to the ground, so it never really gets going anymore, which is a shame. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying that's how it is. But it was nice to walk around the lake this morning. Don't very often get to go out when it's daylight. I'm a bit of a vampire. Well, I don't very often go out at all anyway, but that one's not straight, so I need to straighten that one. Better, I think. Right, so home stretch now. So I am going to pop that one on, I think. Yeah, I'll put it with the blue at the bottom. Probably going to end up putting something over it. Maybe part of the sentiment. We will see. So if you're not really into these mattings and layerings, I apologise. It is a lot on these little cards like this, but it is worth it for the effect, I think, anyway. And if you're not ready for this yet, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's maybe an easy stepper where you've just got one or two mats to do. Get your confidence up. Okay, so which do we think? I'm actually thinking more yellow. Yeah, we'll go with the yellow. It's pretty much all yellow. Like I say, you could mix and match with some of the other foiled cardstocks in there, any of the papers. I've just gone for the one look today. And just making sure I've got those stripes going the same way. There we go. And then we're just going to fold that down. So when the person gets it, it'll be in a 6x4, I would say box of it, because it's quite chunky. And then that's going to open up like so. So let's bring back our toppers. Now I was thinking the medium sized topper would look quite nice on this one. I'll put the frame as well. Let's just bring that in. Here we go. Our little serene fox and our very happy birthday. And do I want to bring in any of this border? Let's see. Can't pick it up. That's going to go about there. No, I'm going to leave that border, I think, for another time. We'll keep this quite plain and simple. You've got all the pieces doing all of the work for you. Okay, so this frame here I'm going to put on flat. So I'm just going to pop a little bit. You could use your dotty tape pen. I just want to be able to wiggle it if I need to. And although I'll put some glue where it's not supposed to be, but there. Now, is that straight? No, it's not. No, it is. I'm just wiping underneath there, wipe any glue off. That way it's not going to stick. Now, I'm going to go 2mm again, I think. Unless I go a little higher. Since it's going in a box loop anyway, let me just grab some of my chunkier pads. Here we go. I think these are some 3mm strips. There we go. These are the Hunkydory ones. If you wanted more elements to decorate this, obviously we have got our printable ones. There are also a lot of small toppers on that last piece that I used with the little stamp ones. I might look on there actually, see what we've got. Let's pop that in there. So just taking these backs off. These are the strip ones. So a little bit tacky glue just in case I need to readjust. But then my little serene fox is going in right there. So that's how that's looking at the moment. Now, because this one is going to be quite squashed down, I don't want to go too high on it, so I'm just going to go with a 1mm on there. So let's just pop that there and there. And again, I'm going to put some tacky glue on. Like I say, just a bit of wiggle room time, just in case I'm not quite right the first time, which happens more time than you would think, more times than you would think. Put that there. I can just see that one just needs a little bit of a readjust. Sometimes they do move a little bit, so it's worth just checking before you leave your project that they are where you want them to be. Okay, so let me just grab my file, and if I grab the last ones, which are this one, here we go. What have we got? We've got a bear, we've got a cat, we've got a panda. What I'm going to do is I'm going to steal this Scent with Love. I'm not going to use any of the others because we haven't used any of the others, and the others, it seems weird to put a penguin with a fox, do you know what I mean? So they're not quite the same. Let me just grab the printed elements. Sorry, I'm just rummaging away here. And you do get some bits that are already printed for you in the magazine as well. So I mean, you could come in with maybe your sort of squirrel. These are the ones I've printed. You've got another fox there. You could die cut that one. These are the ones from the magazine. So you've got another squirrel. And then you've got these ones. But I'm not going to mess with those. I'm going to leave this quite minimal, although we will have some gems in a second. Like I say, you might want to mix up some of these colours so it's not quite all the yellows. Come in. Can I get away with a whole one? Yes, I can. This is just a 1mm one, and what I'm going to do is just make sure I don't put it anywhere where that happy birthday is going to fold. So if I come down with this corner here, that's going to be, straighten you up a little bit, and that is going to be that. So let's come with some gems. We've got a new pack of those there. We might go with those. Are those the same? No. Oh, but I like those navy ones. Let's go with those. I'm trying to get into it and it's already cut at the top. Okay, so we've got these sort of greyish ones. They look navy on things. I think it is like a monochrome set. But again, you don't want to put too much where it's going to be folded underneath. So if I fold it over, I can see which bits I want to decorate. So I'm going to go, I'm not putting any glue underneath these ones because these ones are quite fresh. So 1, 2. I'm going to pop a little one down there. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm just going to do those 3. Really minimal. Being really tight with things today, aren't I? Apologies. Okay, so that is our second card, that little 6x4 shutter card. Like I say, it is quite chunky. You will kind of get a little crease in here, even though you've not scored it yourself. It's not going to affect the card. Like I say, if you wanted to do a piece that's 2x1 there instead of those 2 little pieces, you could do. It's up to you. But that stands up like so. On a shelf, you're going to see all of those little layers coming through. You know, add as little or as much as you like. And then obviously we've got that card where we've cut away that centre part. So let's bring that down so you can see. So that's it for today. So next time there is another set with this one, which I think is the last part of the actual sort of cardstock kit. The rest is those printed ones that I just showed you. I am going to have a play with those and some of the papers that we've got there, and then I'm going to have also a separate play with those papers and the acetates. I did show you a few suggestions last time I played with this kit. But thank you so much for watching today. As always, huge massive thank you and appreciation for your support. Can't tell you how much it really does mean to me. But I will see you next time, and until then, happy crafting. Bye.